Guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another live video. Can we talk the talk, guys? Can we talk the talk? Right, this is a completely different topic, something that I don't usually talk about. As you can see from the title, excuse my glasses, guys, they're bent, whatever. I need to wear them though, right? Because my eyes need them, right? As you can see from the title, a married man and his wandering eye. Right, we're gonna go into this, guys. We're gonna go into this, right? This video is not gonna be bashing anyone. It's not gonna be bashing men. It's not gonna be bashing women. It's not gonna be bashing anyone at all, right? But it's something we need to talk about. It's something that needs to be strongly addressed. It's something you don't really hear people mention much. It always gets swept under the carpet. Women may get gaslit into thinking, oh, you know, there's nothing wrong with a man looking at a woman, and vice versa. You hear people having their opinions on it, but have we really sat down and talked about it properly? That's the question. That is the question, guys. Right, so it's going to take me a minute to get into this topic, but anyone that wonders what wandering is, a wandering eye is someone that is always looking for the next best thing, right? Literally. You got someone next to you, yet you're still looking for the next best thing. Anything that walks into the room, you're looking, right? Your eyes are like this, right? Or whatever. You're checking them out. Your eyes are just like, wow, look at this person. Tell me that isn't cheating, guys. Tell me it isn't cheating. If I have a man next to me, I've married him, he's everything I want, right? And I decide to look at the next hot guy walking into the room. Tell me that isn't cheating. Hi, Tanya Uptime. Hi, Preston Lawrence. How are you? Yes, too blunt, Chuck. Yes, you're right. It's cheating in your heart, like the Bible says. Yes, amen to that. We're going to get into that. Amen to that. Preston Lawrence said you're so pretty. Thank you so much for saying that. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. I'm glad that you're doing good. Yeah, the Bible, I think it's in Matthew. I put it in the description, but if anybody knows the verse, drop it. Preston said, oh my gosh. Gaudino, how are you? Gaudino. Yeah, the Bible says, I don't know it word for word. If anybody knows it, drop it in the comments. But the Bible does state that anyone that looks at a woman with lustful intent has committed adultery in his heart, right? Has already committed adultery in his heart. So what is lust, guys? Guys, we know lust is a sin, right? So if you are already married, yet you are looking at another woman with lust, with desire, right? Any type of I don't know if there's any children in this, but any type of sexual desire, you've already cheated at that point, because your partner is next to you. Your partner's meant to be everything, be everything for you. When I say be everything for you, they should be your sexual partner. They should be everything. That should be the person you go to do that with, right? So if you're now looking at somebody else with that intent, you've committed adultery, because you've already pictured yourself with that person. And we all know that with the mind, the body follows, right? Whatever you think about, your body takes action. Or you know, guys, if you say that you want to run a marathon, right? Or you want to go and run outside, you're training your mind to then do it. You don't just randomly just do stuff, guys. We don't just jump without telling ourselves in our minds to jump. Thank you so much for the like, right? Before we do something, our mind is telling us to do it, right? So the minute let's read the comments. Person says, sorry, I don't. I love God. Yes, oh, I don't know that. That's amazing. So the minute you've actually pictured yourself with that person that's not your partner, right? The minute you start thinking about them thoughts, it won't be long until you act on those thoughts, right? Because you've already at that point cheated on your partner, right? It's a bit like if you are at work and you already have a partner at home, and at work you start flirting with a work colleague, or you start growing feelings for a work colleague, you're already cheating at that point. Thank you so much for the like. You're already cheating at that point because you're now building a new connection with somebody, which in return means that you're going to be withdrawing from your current partner. You're not going to be connected with your partner at home emotionally because now you're emotionally invested in someone else. So that's also cheating, right? So it's you're pulling away from your partner and it's creating a rift. But the Bible's very firm on this. God is the one of all knowledge. So God knows that you've cheated at that point, right? And that's something people need to consider. Consider what they're doing. Sometimes it's best to not look at people, close your eyes, or put your head down, or just look away, right? But it's a lack of respect when you think it's acceptable to be looking at the next person coming to the room and you're thinking, oh yeah, right? And you're checking them out, right? It's not acceptable. It's really not acceptable. Um, Not only are you, we're going to go more into that actually, right? I want to hit more points on it, but it's disrespectful to your partner, right? You don't do that. I love how you talk about the Bible and had a rough day. Chin up, Preston. Chin up. Chin up. What's your favourite book in the Bible, or do you have anything about the Bible you want to discuss? Yeah. So the Wandering Eye, right? We're gonna go into it. Thank you, Motown. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're gonna go we're gonna go into it, right? So if you think about it, if someone is married, right? Um, when you marry someone, depending on your religion, depending on your faith, right? You I suppose all marriages consist of vows, right? You say I do, you say what you promise to do. It's for that moment today and onwards for forever until death do you apart. Thank you so much for your like, right? So when you're actually in a building, right, and you're saying your vows, till death do us apart through sickness, through I can't remember the verses, in sickness, in health, I don't know what it was. Hi Child X-Men, how are you? Right, thank you so much for like. When you're doing these vows, do people think about this, right? Preston said that's rude. Don't say that she's hairy. She's not hairy and she's pretty. Thank you so much, Preston. When when people are doing these vows, do they realize that these vows are like starting from that point you've said the vows and forever on, right? Do they realize that? Because at that point, when you've broke that vow, or when you do something outside of marriage that you're not supposed to do and you know it's forbidden, you at this point you've lied to your partner, right? And the fact that people don't talk about this, and the fact that people continue their day saying to their partner, I love you, but they can't even tell their partner what they did wrong, is really bad, isn't it? It's really bad. Thank you, Child X-Man, through sickness and health, till death do us part. Literally, thank you so much. That's what I was saying. Entertainment and other factors ruin special things like that. Yes, they did. Um, but what I never understood about people was when they're getting married, when they're standing up in that building and they're literally saying the vows, it's not like someone's saying it for them. They are literally saying it out of their own mouth, right? At what point, as they're saying the vows, do they actually think, I can't do this, or I'm not going to commit to this? Because, guys, there are people that are getting married, right? And they literally stand up in church or stand up in outdoors on the beach, wherever they get married, right, or in the garden, right? And one of at least one of them, whoever's going to cheat, right? I'm not saying everyone cheats, but out of the, those people that have a wandering eye, there's one of them that's not genuine. Let's not sugarcoat this. There's one of them that's actually standing there thinking, I'm gonna cheat, right? And they're like, yes, till death do us apart, right? I'm not even joking, guys. There's people that there must be a point in their mind, whether it's before the wedding or after the wedding or during the wedding, that as they're saying these vows, they definitely know that they're not going to stick to it, guys. Tell me I'm not lying. Tell me I'm not lying. There's got to be a point in that wedding ceremony where they know that they're not going to do exactly what they're saying, right? For example, say if I'm standing up in the church, right, and I say, let's read and try the Xmas one. Through sickness and health, death till death do us part. In my head, I'm thinking, if he gets sick, I'm not going to look after him. Do you get my point, right? I'm going to be like, if he gets sick, I haven't got energy looking after him. I'm going to be caring about myself. Do you see my point? When people are reading vows, there's probably at least one or two where they're thinking, I'm not going to quite do that, but let's just say it anyway. That's lying, right? That is lying, right? And this is the point. You're doing vows, right? At this point, you know that you're supposed to be committed to this person. So the fact that, when she leave that wedding, or, well, I hope there's no wandering eyes at the wedding, right? I hope people are not doing that. Oh my gosh, I just got a message in my head that there's a lot of people, even on their wedding day, they are still looking at other women and vice versa. I actually don't know what to say at this point. I actually don't know what to say at this point. There is people out there getting married, right? And even on their wedding day, they are still checking people out, like the wedding guests and stuff, and they're just like, I actually don't know what to say at this point. I actually don't know what to say. I'm trying to find a spot where I should talk. Well, I'll talk here. Yeah, I actually don't know what to say. There's people actually doing this. I'm going to read through the comments. People want to be married but not actually putting the work. Yeah. Hashtag Jamaica stand strong. Thank you, Charlie X Man. Oh, Preston said, oh my gosh, I love this girl, bro. Thank you so much. That's so sweet. Charlie X Man said, when I read my vows, they are vows. That's my pledge to them, that I will give them my best and that I will do what's needed for them. 1 second, trying to go down. When I'm married, my wife is the only one for me. Amen to that. It's okay, girl. Don't worry. That was me, girl. You did that, Preston. You actually did that. Oh, man. It's a tough one. There's so many people. They probably, I don't know. I can't speak for the people, but there is people out there that are doing this. This is why I'm talking about it, because it needs to be talked about. Thank you for saying you slay. Two Blunt Truck said a lot. Two Blunt Truck, I never get all your messages. I never get all your messages. Yeah. So, um, yeah, so at that point, I do believe that there's got to be people that are reading their vows out and they know they're not going to stick to it, because there's no way you can go from doing your wedding to afterwards just change. But as I said, some people can also change after the wedding. We don't know. Guys, we do not know, right, what people are going through when they're married. Some people probably do get married with good intentions and it gets to the point in that marriage where they're like, you know what, I'm going to just sway to someone else. And I highly don't encourage that. I don't think people should do that. You should not do that. You should at least try and work through your marriage. If marriage is for life, guys. It's actually for life. Thank you so much for the like. It's actually for life. Taxman said it's fortunate, but some people intentionally wear what they do to have someone's attention. That's another good point I need to go back to. Thank you, Preston, for saying you're so pretty. Mwah, thank you so much. Right, so Charlie Exman said it's unfortunate, but some people literally wear clothes deliberately, but they wear what they some people intentionally wear what they do to have someone's attention. Wait, some people intentionally wear what they do to have someone. So you mean that people are wearing clothes to get someone's attention? I think that's what you're saying, I think. Charlie Smith said, don't forget I have my passport handy. That's really funny. That's really funny. Yeah, so um yeah, the wandering eye, we're gonna go more into it, guys. We're gonna go more into it because it's something that needs to be addressed. Hi, Sky. I was thinking about you today. Yeah, it's something that needs to be addressed, right? Um, so sometimes, oh, Preston said, I love you. You're going to be so famous. I actually don't want to be famous, but thank you so much. I did want to be famous when I was younger, but now I don't want that. I really don't want that. Um, I need to cough then. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so um Wandering Eye. Let's talk about Wandering Eye. How are you, Sky? Let's talk about Wandering Eye. I feel like, right, I don't want to be stereotypical, right? God's telling me not to be stereotypical, but I feel like there's a lot of people that have wandering eyes, right? A lot of people that are not able to stay loyal, right? And when someone doesn't know how to stay loyal, they're going to always be looking for the next best thing, guys. Because sometimes people don't understand themselves, they don't understand what they really want. When you don't know what you want, you don't know what you're looking for, right? If you don't know who you are as a person, you're going to struggle to settle or to, to be honest, even if you don't know yourself, you can still settle. I'll take that back. What I'm trying to say is, if you're not sure of who you are, how can you show up in a relationship effectively if you don't know who you are? You're going to struggle with identity crisis. You're going to struggle in a relationship or in marriage. You're going to really struggle. It's so important to know yourself. It's really, really important. And I think this is something that people need to understand. A lot of um, people that are not secure in themselves, they may try and find people that can give them validation, right? Which could maybe be a cause. One of the causes could be a wandering eye, right? So you're going to be always looking for that attention from people, validation, right? Which could maybe cause a wandering eye, especially if your partner's not giving you enough affection or attention. You may get bored and think, okay, my partner's not giving me attention, let's go elsewhere, right? Which is what some people actually do. They want to feel wanted by others, right? So they're seeking that validation from other people. So when they feel like when they're looking at somebody and checking somebody out, and then that person's responding back to them, or that person smiles back, or the person looks back, they probably feel like they are 10, right? At that point, they feel like they are a 10 out of 10, right? And they feel like they've still got it. You always hear people as they get older, they always say, I still got it, right? I've still got it. Let me read the comments. Oh, Sky, I'm doing okay. I was thinking about you. I was worried about you. I was really worried about you. Thanks for the noodles, Preston. You're number one of my top fans. I'm hearing what you're saying, but goodness, you're beautiful. You ain't even trying. Thank you so much, Charlotte, man. That's so sweet. Oh man, I'm sorry you're doing well. Okay, you're speaking to Sky. Stop Worthy, how are you? Tanya, my god woman. When will you marry? Everyone's coming on the live now. You guys are actually super funny. Alex Murphy goes, what's happening, Tanya? What is happening? Thank you for the hearts, guys. Preston Lawrence said, I'm single, I don't want to get married. I actually feel you. I feel you on that one. I feel like a lot of single people do have a fear of getting married. So I feel you on that one, Preston. I feel you. There's a lot of people in that equation, a lot of people in that boat. A lot of people are scared to get married. And the reason why is because it could be the fact that the people that you see getting married, you see that they're cheating. Right? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. You see a lot of married people cheating, a lot of married people in people's DMs. Right? The internet is such an easy place for people to cheat, guys. There's so many people that are in relationships that are pretending to be single online on fake accounts, right? You could be talking to anyone online, they could be in a relationship, you don't even know, right? Because people do tell a lot of lies in this world. The internet is so deceitful, it's unreal, right? It's full of deception. The world is full of deception, but the internet is even worse, right? Um, so especially when you see like people in failed marriages, or you probably just see people in normal relationships and you just feel like, why are they even together? And we can't base our life on other people's lives. right? This is like a bad thing to do. If you see that other people have failed, it doesn't mean that your life will fail. It just means that those people probably rushed it, or they made the wrong decisions. Thank you for the hearts. Um, but if you want a good marriage, I would recommend people to surround themselves with people that are in successful marriages, right? So look at the circle of friends that you're in, or the people that you interact with. Maybe they're all in crappy relationships, or maybe everyone that you're surrounded by are all single. Thank you so much for like. It depends on the people you're surrounded by, but you'll know if you don't want to get married. Sometimes people know that when they don't want to even be friends with people that own successful marriages. They kind of pull away from it because it doesn't reflect the life that they want to live. Try and read these comments. Charlie Smith said, I want to get married, but at the same time, people are. Is that face palm? Yeah, people are very complicated now today. Alex Smith said, can we get a rewind and start again? I've only arrived. There's no rewinds. There's no rewinds. Unless you rewind it yourself. You haven't missed much though, Alex Murphy. You haven't missed much. I'm just getting started. Stabworthy said, I'm not afraid to marry you. So sweet. Yeah, Preston Stabworthy is so sweet. My wife's always accuses me. I didn't know you were married, Alex. My wife's always accused me of cheating. My girlfriend says the same. Wait, you've got a wife and a girlfriend? Married her focus and attention on others and not their partner. People should fight for their marriage. That's a good breakdown, Child X Man. Preston said crazy. There's too much going on in this world, way too much. Yeah, but what was I saying, guys? So I was talking about people having a wandering eye, people not being faithful, people cheating online and stuff like that. But the thing is, guys, if you suspect someone cheating, it should be addressed. You have to address those issues. But cheating doesn't make an excuse for you to also cheat back. You don't, it's not tick for tack. You have to always stay true to who you are. You know, you can't be like, oh, I cheated because they cheated. That's not a good enough reason. You shouldn't be doing getting back at each other. That's childish. That's very childish. You're just getting started. I made it here early. In that case, feeling better already now. Scott, are you making me laugh? Hope your recovery is going well. I don't know if you've had the operation yet. 1 second, guys. Oh, see you, Preston. It's really nice. It's been nice having you here. Thank you for subscribing. If it comes up on my notifications, I will subscribe back to you. Have an amazing day. Wow. Yeah, so we're talking about wandering eye, right? And it's about being loyal to your partner, isn't it? See you, Preston. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Yeah, it's about being loyal to your partner, and the fact if you feel so comfortable checking other people out when you've got your partner with you, that's very worrying. It's very worrying, but we're not going to go too much into that, right? Also, there's some people that stay single. There's some people that stay single, they don't get married because they wanna, you know, play the field, or they just want to check out loads of options, or they have a wandering eye. So that you also get an opposite, right? There's a lot of single men out there, a lot of single women, and they just don't know what they want, right? They have no direction when it comes to relationships and love. They have no direction in that, and they literally just sabotage the whole life. They sabotage the whole life by just jumping from different people, right? And trying to make it work with many different people. And it always flops or it always fails because people will get a sense that you don't know what you want. So if you don't know what you want, how the hell can you even find an actual partner to match you, right? If you're always just looking at every single thing that's attractive, right? People are going to see that and they're going to be like, you're definitely not for me. I do know some people like that. I know some guys like that where they may show an interest in me, but you can also see their eyes light up when they see other women, and you're just like, okay, so you don't know what you want, you don't know who you want. Everyone seems to be on your list at this point. It's all about eye candy for them, right? And there's more to life than just looking at the attractiveness of someone. You need to really know the person. But as I said, some people choose to be single so they can kind of live that way. Hi, Mamta, how are you? Reading the comments. All you can see is a washing machine. So I said, they said it went well, but when I came out, I had to lift something. Oh, you shouldn't be if you have an operation, you got problems in that area, you should not be lifting anything heavy. That's a no. That's a no. So you're basically destroying your body at this point. When you have an operation, you should be resting, no lifting anything. Yeah, I'll definitely go into Charlie Xman's comment in a bit. Yeah, so there's a lot of people that choose to be single so they can kind of live free, right? And I don't know if that satisfies anybody in the long run. Let's be real. I don't think that's going to satisfy you, but each to your own. I mean, people can do what they choose to do. I'm not here to be telling people what they should and should be doing. But obviously, if you feel like this message is kind of hitting your soul, it might mean that you need to change, right? You need to look within and make changes, right? Yeah, so I'm gonna go into um different examples, right? So you got the single people that are literally having a wandering eye, but then you get the married people that are also doing it. You also get people that like to click like on photos on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok. Guys, let me just put it out there. I am not somebody that's insecure. If I have a partner and they are clicking like on women's photos or whatsoever, I'm not going to be mad about it. I'm not going to be mad about it. I'm not insecure about that. But if, as you can see from the title of this video, it ties into the wandering eye, guys. It's the same concept, right? If you are on your phone and you've already got a girlfriend or if you've already got a wife, I don't know what people have nowadays, right? If you've already got that in your life, why do you need to look at photos of women, right? Because you're deliberately going through your feed and you're going down and you're clicking like on all these photos. You're literally training your brain to focus on other women than the woman that you've got in your life. From a psychological perspective, you're now training your brain to keep looking for beauty all the time, right? Instead of your partner, right? And your partner's sitting next to you looking plain Jane, ordinary, and you're looking at all these women all glammed up and looking all airbrushed or filtered, and you're clicking like on that. Is your mind wandering? Is your eyes wandering? Are you now creating lustful thoughts in your mind as you're looking at these women? Can you kind of see how it's cheating, guys? If you're already married, you've got a partner. This applies to women as well. If you're already married, you've got a partner, but you're also looking at attractive people and thinking, yeah, we normalize this, don't we? We normalize this in society that it's okay to look. Um, we normalize this, but the Bible speaks against this, right? The Bible says how you should not look at people with lust if you're not married to them, right? It's the same as adultery at this point, right? That's not the way it's worded in the Bible, but you get my drift, right? They talk about it in the book of Matthew, right? My pastor recommended that people shouldn't date, they should court, although I'm new to it, but I feel like it's better to understand who they are and their intentions. The idea is forming a bond in God. I feel like it's hard to know who someone is though. I don't think people should date. So I agree with your pastor on that one. I don't think people should date. To understand who they are. It's really hard to understand anyone. It's one of those things, or if people can't understand themselves, they're not going to really understand anyone. I feel like you can never understand someone fully because there's just so many layers to people. Even for psychologists, they can't even understand people. It's way too complex. But I do get your point, like understanding someone, you can understand them to an extent, but not fully. There's no way. Thank you such a lie. This is why relationships are so complex sometimes, because there's some people that like to hide their real identity in relationships, and that's when people wear masks and they pretend. That's why people never recognize their partner. When people see the real truth of their partner and someone's trying to reveal it to them, They won't believe them because that's not who they see. But I like the point where you said the idea is forming a bond and God. Yeah, forming it with God. And Sky said, Tanya, thanks, I learned the hard way, no choice. Oh, be very careful. Always ask for help, Sky. Don't be scared to ask for help. Alex Murphy said I'm back with a cup of tea. Fortunately, society says if they are hard to get them, but if they have a beautiful soul, when attracted, then no. Oh, let's read that again. That's actually a good one. Unfortunately, society says if they are hot, get them. Yeah, society just promote that. But if they have a beautiful soul but not attractive, then no. I get that. Sometimes the inside shines through and it can make people really beautiful. But I do get what you're saying. This guy has what is with people and their cup of tea. The cycle of life. We animals with rhyme and mate. I wore a mask to hide my pains, not anymore. That's a beautiful statement. It's maybe said we love teas here in the UK. I drink loads. Yeah, so wondering so I was talking about people clicking like on photos, right? If you've got a partner or are you married to someone that keeps doing that, please be careful of that because that's also a red flag. It can be a red flag. I understand that some people are secure in their relationships, that they're comfortable with their partner looking at somebody else, but it's also a sin, as you can see from the Bible. I'm glad that you're back, Preston. It's also a sin. Um, yeah, right. Wondering when you are married to somebody and they meet family members or um be very cautious of people um that are that have a wandering eye. They're most likely going to look at your family members or their family members. So to even make it disgusting, but some people are creepy in today's world. When people are full of lust and sick intents, they will check anybody out at this point. So that's where incest happens as well, where people are looking at their own um, relatives, and I'm sorry that I have to be talking about this, or your relatives as well. If they're looking at your relatives, that's also incest as well because they're married to you. So when they're married to you, your family is also a part of them now. So this is where incest can happen. And it's also an easy way for them to disguise themselves as well because you would never believe they would go for your family members, right? You would never believe it. But truth always comes out, as the Bible talks about what happened. The dark. What is it, guys? The dark always comes to light, or something like that. The truth always comes out. Basically, is what it means. The truth always comes out. A lot of people don't realize that. Um, Tea and biscuits. I love tea and biscuits. Try me. Sky made me laugh. Sky actually made me laugh. Oh, I accidentally deleted your message, Preston. I do apologise. Accidentally. I do apologise. Your message when you said you're back. Um, I'm more tea and crips. I've never had tea and crips. Oh, tea and chips. I was gonna say tea and crips. I was like, that's a weird combo. Oh, you mean crips as in UK crips? Yeah, that's a strange combo. I'd never put that with tea. Some people, unfortunately, are not up for it. That's why God is the one who knows what I need, not me. Amen to that, Chidex man. Oh man, that's something I would dread. Someone I married a fancy family member. It actually happens, guys. It happens more than you think. It happens more than you think. If someone's got a wandering eye, um, there's no limits with them, right? They're going to be checking everybody out, right? They check everybody out. They're sick, right? So, so it won't stop it. Just because they got a wandering eye doesn't mean it's going to stop at your family members. Um, you know, you can kind of see what kind of character they are. It won't stop at your family members. Some people even get sick to the point where they go for people's moms as well, right? They go for their partner's wife. I mean, their partner's mom, right? So it does get to that point. Some women go for their partner's dads, right? Sorry to point it out there, but guys, people are doing stuff like this. I'm not even joking. People are actually doing stuff like this. It gets to that point. Um, Sky said, "Oh no, Tanya's on with the tea and biscuits. Tea and biscuits. Don't you like tea, Sky? Don't you like tea?" Trix is laughing. I think you're laughing about the tea situation. My wife is my brother's sister. Right. My wife is my brother's sister. So your brother could be your half brother. We all share. Alex Murphy, that is some sick joke. That is some sick joke, right? That is some sick joke. I'm not gonna laugh at that. Right. So thank you so much for the likes, guys. The 7 likes, yeah. Um, a wandering eye can also be very dangerous. Even if you're single, if you're married, it gets very dangerous. It means that you think everyone is attracted to you. Guys, can we state the obvious, right? When you have a wandering eye, listen, guys, you think everyone is attracted to you. Right? So when you think everyone's attracted to you, you're going to be checking at everybody, be like, oh, yeah, they're hot, right? And they're thinking that you're not, meaning you think they're hot and they think you're not, right? um, yeah, so you think everyone's attracted to you, which means that you will go for anybody, right? You'll make a beeline for them. When I say beeline, I mean you make a move for them, right? And this is how people get rejected and then end up looking silly, right? You become overconfident, right? Sky said, no, tea and biscuits together. And I think you need to have it like that. It's so nice when you do tea and biscuits and you eat it. Alex Murphy goes, Duncan Hobnob is in brew is defiant. You guys are funny. Yeah, so yeah, people have a wandering eye, right? They think everyone's attracted to them, or they have their partner and they're still trying to make a beeline for other people. It happens, guys. It happens. I remember. I'm not gonna put it out there just in case they watch this video because you don't know who might find my video. But I remember I was talking to a married couple, and the husband was checking me out, and I never felt so uncomfortable in my life. When someone has a wandering eye, especially a male, um, the woman that's receiving the guy checking out their assets, they're checking out everything, they're checking out their body, they're looking at all the naughty areas, right? Current and naughty areas. When they're doing that, they're actually also making a woman feel very uncomfortable. I don't think people talk about this enough, right? This is how you get feminists speaking up for women, right? I'm not a feminist, but there's some points that feminists talk about that I actually understand what they're saying, right? There's a lot of men, right? There's looking at somebody's face and thinking, oh, they're pretty. But there's also looking in a creepy way where you're literally like, and you're looking at their body, you just mesmerize. It's creepy, it's unattractive, and it makes women feel uncomfortable, right? Makes them feel uncomfortable, especially if they're not attracted to you, right? It's actually creepy, right? And no one talks about this enough, right? At least feminists kind of address these weird issues. Well, I hope they address it anyway, but they kind of do touch on the things about, how men are acting, right? I don't know much about feminists. I'm just basically saying that they must talk about this. Clearly, they should, right? It makes people feel uncomfortable. A wandering eye makes people feel uncomfortable, right? When you get creeps, when you get rapists, when you get pedophiles, they're looking at people with a lustful eye. If you look at somebody with a lustful eye, you're undressing them, right, with your eyes, right? So when people are doing that, right, they're showing that person what it is that they want. It's disgusting and it's uncomfortable, right? So people don't talk about these things enough. The wandering eye is not always innocent. It can also get to the point where the other person feels violated. They feel gross and disgusting when someone's checked them out, right? Um, Alex Murphy said, did you know a male has 3 eyes? How? So I said, no, it's not, Tanya. Why? Biscuits are so nice in tea. Sky goes, you might know now. um, yeah. So people are checking people out, making people feel uncomfortable. Not only when you're doing this, you're also making your partner feel very bad inside. They feel insecure. They feel upset. Um, it's not a nice feeling when you're with your partner and they're checking somebody out. It's like it's disrespectful. It's a slap in the face. And I think a lot of people need to think about what they're actually doing, the effects they're having on people. You're making women compare themselves. You get a lot of males as well that try to make their woman dress down and wear no makeup, make themselves look very plain, and then they start looking at a woman that's very glamorous, right? So not only have they made their woman look unattractive, where no men are going to be looking at their woman, they're checking out other women, right? There's a lot going on in this world. The wandering eye is very dangerous. If you're a married man, right, you need to act accordingly, right? You shouldn't be in women's DMs, right? You shouldn't be on my DMs, right? You shouldn't be in my DMs if you're married, right? let's set that record straight. If you're married, you shouldn't be in my DMs, right? With a lustful intent, you shouldn't be doing that, right? I'm not saying married men can't message me, but if you're messaging me with lustful intent, it's not appropriate, right? This guy said Tanya. Tanya with capital letters, Tanya, right? This is the thing with wandering eye, guys. I'm not sugarcoating it. It's lustful, right? The Bible speaks about this. You committed adultery already, right? A lot of people don't take this serious. If you are married and you're checking other people out, and it's clearly unwanted, they don't want you to look at them anyway. Not in that way, right? You're married. Go away. It's unwanted, right? This is how people have sick desires in their mind. Women are feeling uncomfortable by it. The worst thing is someone checking you out in a sexual way where you haven't even had that kind of interaction in the first place. You haven't had that conversation, and they just presume they can kind of look at you in that way. As I said, what the mind thinks, the actions follow. So once they've already had that thought in their head and they're now checking you out like that, guys, it's real. It's absolutely real. Tanya, prison and you are not allowed to be released until you say you didn't like. Wait, you mean Preston and you are not allowed to be until you say you don't like tea and biscuits. Also, I need to say I don't like tea and biscuits. I love tea and biscuits, especially rich tea with biscuits. Mwah, it's actually golden. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, but guys, I always feel like obviously this doesn't apply to married people at this point. What I'm about to start to say, if you are getting to know somebody, you notice they have a wandering eye, don't pursue that relationship. Do not pursue that relationship. Leave whilst you still can. You're not going to be happy with that person. They're going to be always looking at the next best thing. You're not going to be able to catch their attention at all. You're not going to be able to hold their attention. They're going to be with you, and the whole time they're with you, they're looking for the next best thing to walk in the room. And that's not cool. You want to be with someone that wants you, somebody that wants to be with you, right? My whole desire is if I get with someone, I want him to only be interested in me, not in another woman, right? And I know I can't control a man, right? Because I know a lot of people are not perfect and they do stray. But, guys, the wandering eye is something else. I'm not saying you can't look at someone, but wandering is like, like you're looking at them, you're attracted to them. It's not appropriate, right? It's making people feel uncomfortable, right? Even single men, you should know that if you're checking out a woman in a sexual way, there's women that are bound to feel very uncomfortable, right? You're checking her out and she doesn't like it, right? Alex said, how would you deem someone is checking you out and it's not just your opinion or thought that someone is checking you out? It's very hard sometimes to know when someone's checking you out because sometimes people are just looking, they're curious. You could be dressed up in a certain way and they really like your outfit, or they could just like something that you've done to yourself and they're just really looking and admiring it, or they could just be looking, they could think they know you. But checking somebody out, you're obviously looking them up and down, aren't you? And you're like, There's a certain look that people do when they're checking people out. I can't do all the looks. It's always blatantly obvious when they're checking you out. Or you're walking past and they turn around and look at you. Come on. And they've got a woman with them. It's plain obvious, right? If they got a woman with them and they're really staring at you, you know it's not normal, right? Tanya, not if you wear sunglasses because then they can't see you. Yeah, maybe wandering eyes people should wear sunglasses, but knowing, the thing is, even people with wandering eyes, you know what they would do if they had sunglasses, right? They would turn their heads and look for ages. They wouldn't even make it look subtle, right? They'd make it plain obvious. Wherever the girl is, they would turn their head to the right, staring at them for ages. That's how wandering eyes work. They want the woman next to them to know, and they want everyone in the world to know that they're blatantly looking at that woman. They won't even slyly look at the corner of the eye. They won't even do that. They would literally turn their heads. I saw on the internet that narcissists apparently do that. I'm not saying everyone's a narcissist, but apparently narcissists purposely look at other people as well. Just you get some type of validation or reaction from the partner, the deliberate do it. It's also abusive as well. If your partner doesn't like you checking other people out and you still do it, I think that's abuse. I think it's wrong. It's disrespectful and you don't respect your partner and you don't love your partner. I'm going to leave this topic here. I'm going to read the comments. Let's not signal out men. Women have wandering eye too. Women always checking me out. Alex, I did say in the beginning of the video, like I did give examples that it also applies to women as well. Skies are true. Where did Child X-Men go? Probably gone to wander at someone else. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm actually joking. Alright, guys, thank you so much for being here. Guys, I know I don't do live videos much anymore. I kind of, yeah, I'm not going to explain why. But I think you guys, because I'm still here. I think you guys have figured out that I don't do many live videos anymore. But I figured I'd do one now as I'm doing it, right? Don't know what's going to happen with my YouTube channel moving forward, but I'm still trying to do live videos when I can. It's kind of tricky. I don't know where I'm at with YouTube at the moment. But I do appreciate you guys because you guys still come through for me. You guys still come on my live videos when I do come on. I appreciate that. I appreciate your patience as well. It's quite the time you behave. That's funny. But I wasn't here at the beginning. I asked what I'm missing. You said nothing. Alex Murphy. Oh, probably. I don't know when you came in actually, but I did say. I know it was in the beginning. I did say sometimes women do this. Actually, I've been saying it throughout the live video. Actually, I've been saying sometimes women do it too. I don't know if you heard me say it, but I'm sure I have throughout this video. Not loads of times, but I'm sure there's times when I actually said it. Jackson said I'm at work at the moment. Yeah, Charlie said you keep leveling up, come back when you can. Thank you so much. Right, guys, I'm going to leave this live video here. I'm so happy that Sky is well. I'm so happy to see people, regular people come back. People I haven't seen for a while. Appreciate you all. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end, guys. I actually appreciate it. It's been an interesting topic. Thank you for supporting me on this topic because it's very hard to do, to talk about as well, about wandering eye. But I'm sure you guys kind of figure out what a wandering eye is, and in terms of the Bible, it's cheating. You committed adultery when you're actually looking at someone with lustful intent. So if a man's looking at a woman full of lust, he's already committed a sin at that point. Already committed a sin. There's a lot of men out there, right? They don't look at me with lust. They talk to me. They respect me as a person. They look in my face. They don't act like a creep. Right, I can talk to them and I feel comfortable, right? And I love that. But there's some that are full of lust and desire and they really look at you like they're trying to seduce you, right? And then they see another woman and they're doing the same. When you're like that, you're not going to find a good partner. No one's going to want to settle for that. And if there's any woman that is settling for that and they're married to that, I do wish you a lot of luck because that man is really not into you. He's really not into you. He's only into himself. He only loves himself and what he can get from people. He's a selfish pig, right? And that's all he wants. right? Alex Murphy said by all. Alex Murphy, I don't know why you're trying to be difficult, because if you can see from the title, it says married man. The title says man, right? Thank you for the hearts, Charlie X Man. Charlie X Man said important subject. Yeah, because we don't really talk about this, do we? It's kind of like society normalizes people having a wandering eye. They say you can look as long as you don't touch. But the Bible doesn't say that. It says if you look at another woman with a lustful intent, you've already committed adultery, right? It's a sin. It's a sin to commit adultery. You know, that means you're looking at another woman other than your wife. Other than your wife, guys. Other than your wife. So not only are you doing that, you're also not honouring your wife. You're not treating her with respect and love. Putting her on a... I'm not saying you should put her on a pedestal, but at least you don't even value her at this point when you're looking at other women. Like, what... If you already got what you need, what even is out there for you? Why are you still looking like you're single? I don't dream about you, Alex. So I said I will tell you not leaving, but you always have excuses to go, Tanya. I always have excuses. I've got to get ready for bed. Well, as I said, you can hire me. I'll pull up with 8 dogs. The two. Alex said looks are irrelevant as long as they can cook and clean. It's cool. Okay, Alex. Okay, Alex. Okay, guys. I appreciate you all for being here tonight. Taking notes from Tanya now that I got a girlfriend again. Sky, you got a girlfriend again? Congratulations. Congratulations. And you're taking notes as well. So you're not gonna have a wandering eye, Sky. I'm not saying that you do, right? But you're gonna be on your best behaviour, right? I'm so happy that you're doing well though, Sky. Yeah, see you too, Sky. Oh, I do miss you guys, I actually do. Oh, Charlie X-Men in a bit, bro. That's so sweet. Tanya, I get an impression you don't particularly like me. Maybe it's my sense of humour or my intelligence. Alex Smith, you like to be so sarcastic, don't you? You actually like to be so sarcastic. So I said, trying to be good, Tanya. Scary, she is not gonna lie. Oh no, that's not good for your heart, is it, Sky? That's not good for your heart. Okay, guys, I appreciate you all for being here tonight. It's been a pleasure. It's so hard for me to do live videos, but I'm trying my best. Hope this topic is interesting to someone today, or to anyone that watches it back when I post it live. It was a really hard topic to do, really hard topic to actually do, but I did it. Thanks to the support of you guys, and thank you guys for sticking around long enough to hear me talk about it, right? But I love you all. Take care, guys. Stay safe. Thank you for saying good night to me, Charles man. Sweet dreams to you too when nighttime arrives for you. Sky said, don't say that. No, I'm more scared. No, don't be scared. I was only joking with you. Don't be scared. You'll be fine. Hopefully I get to talk to you all soon. Right, guys, I'm gonna go. See you all. Ciao.